We have General Sudhakar with us. General Sudhakar, thank you. So you were absolutely brilliant on our program earlier sometime. I just loved your analysis. So Abhishek and I thought we'd have this chat with you. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Arnab. You are the best I've come across. We have seen you from childhood till now. You're doing a great job. We are proud of you. India is proud of you and your team.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. It means a lot coming from you.
And General Sudhakar, I mean, you have the military mind amongst three of us.
Yeah.
How do you see this provocation? Should it be responded to? And if yes, with what level of intensity?
I can also put another word before he responds to this. The other view, General Sudhakar, is this is like a trap for us. It's a laying of a trap to get us to respond, because get a commitment from us and then lay a trap for us. What is the better thing to do at this point of time? Look away or react?
No, Arnab, very interesting question. My personal view, I am not trying to legislate on behalf of the Indian Armed Forces or the government. As a retired general, I personally feel that a precedent having been set, when I say precedent, it is 7th of May and thereafter till 10th or 11th, and a ceasefire having been established, then there is a principled agreement between the stakeholders. The agreement understanding is that ceasefire is ceasefire. Any aggressor, here the aggressor is Pakistan. We have enough of evidence. Here is, it may be a small number, but small number is also a number. The moment you let it go, Arnab, my take is that they are not only probing, they are trying to come into Pathankot. They want to hit your airbase. They want to hit your further into the hinterland. So they are trying to penetrate into our system, Gurdaspur, Tibri, all these places. The border between Punjab and Kashmir is going to be hit in a very consistent and persistent manner, so that the corridor of mobilization of Indian Army, till now, let me tell you, the Indian Army or armed forces have not mobilized. It is by standoff means that we are trying to target the objectives. So therefore, their essential aim, as I understand, is firstly, surveillance or no surveillance. Any kind of aerial or autonomous system in space is to be taken as a threat. It has been launched from their projectile or the machine. And that threat has to be meted out by suitable response. If you do not respond today, tomorrow they will come in big number. They will come into a sector where your air defense is weak. They are trying to find out. They may be firing here, but looking towards Sir Creek. Their aim is actually, they are looking at the Sir Creek, towards Rajasthan, Run of Kutch. They may be looking towards the China-Pakistan, that wedge, Karakoram Pass. Okay, so it is not Pakistan alone which is playing the game. There is a Chinese hand visible to us.
I agree with you. In fact, just, Abhishek, I was saying that if you look at this geopolitically from the overall geopolitical index of weights and pressures in the whole system, that when the Pakistani, Pakistanis were so adulatory of the response of, America and thanking America, China got irritated. And it is in China's interest to keep this hot, because if it's not hot, then it will be seen as Trump's efforts succeeding. And China always loves to play in troubled waters. It has done so in several parts of the world. And given the overall trade balance situation, given the fact that they have an engaged conversation on tariffs, using this situation as leverage works in China's favor. I always feel this is not Pakistan's border, it's China's border. Do you think, Abhishek, these are surveillance drone testing our air defense capabilities? Because there was one view that a longer engagement with Pakistan will let China get the intel on our air defense capabilities.
I mean, it's no secret that...
it can't just be harassment.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret or no first that Pakistan is effectively a client state of China.
Well said.
China can get anything done through Pakistan. Pakistan is essentially an extension of the Chinese deep state now, as things stand.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Americans are not realizing it, or maybe they realize it, but they are not able to comprehend how to deal with it. They want
to take credit for themselves.
Yeah, they are not able to comprehend how to deal with it.
Correct.
Having said that, this drone activities obviously as of now seems like surveillance activity. And the General is absolutely right that this is happening in a broad sweep, a broad area from Karakoram Pass to Kutch. And obviously the Chinese through the Pakistanis are fishing for information and looking for weaker areas in the moat, in the defense.
So I want to ask General Sudhakar on that is this a regrouping effort by China, by Pakistan, you know, because after the last round of actions when we fired the cruise and when they made the hotlines work, when they called America, was their idea simply to get a little bit of a breather? Because we saw the pictures from Rawalpindi, Chaklala. You know, the runway was severely damaged. It was like a crater in Noor Khan and other areas. So are they trying to work on their infrastructure? Can they work so hard and regroup?
Absolutely. Arnab, you put the finger on its nail. When I raise this issue, people will brand me as an alarmist. It is exactly the way you have just outlined. And I feel so happy and proud of you and your channel that you people are talking the language a military analyst is supposed to talk. Today, you know, let's talk from the larger perspective. What is it that China is trying to achieve? China is trying to achieve that to keep India committed along the continental border and take the focus away from sea lanes of communication. 83% of its energy security is passing through sea lanes of communication. More than 70 to 80% of its trade is going by sea lanes of communication. The choke points are dominated by India. Okay, so they want to take the attention of India away from Indian Ocean region towards the continental border and then come and strike. We have, as in today, 1,400 or more island territories. A small little island, even if they go and burn a Fuljadi, that will turn the attention and the focus of the nation for the security purpose. So therefore, my take on the whole issue is that this has to be very, very calibrated, has to be analyzed in detail, pros and cons have to be thought through. As on today, the sensitivity lies in a couple of places. One, I would say, the Siliguri corridor, without any doubt. Okay. The second, the chicken snake. I'm talking about the Akhnur sector because they're bombarding, they're checking. They did it in 65 by other means. They did it during 71 by other means, although they failed miserably. In Kargil also, they were aiming to choke us. Now they are choking us by reviving the proxy war, south of Pir Panjal range. In addition to that, Sir Creek is something which is ringing a bell in my head. In 1965, while the actual conflict may have started in September, but there was a trigger sometime in the month of April in Sir Creek. And that is where I have been studying Chinese movement. Many of us may not be very observant. Today, along the line of control, China has got close to 11,700, approximately, PLA soldiers deployed along the international border, Sir Creek area, across eyeball to eyeball contact, direct distance between our BSF post, and there is a civilian company of China. At the center of the company location, there is a bunker, and over the bunker there is a gun. What is that gun doing there? If it is a civilian gun, Sir Creek has to be studied in detail because my fear is they are trying to manipulate and change the ground incrementally. You know, salami slicing is going to take off from there. We got to be very careful.
So,
very, very careful.
So when basically then the thing is, we should not presume that we have a lot of time because strategic intentions are always, you know, never revealed by anyone, and we can't reveal what our strategic intentions are. But what we are saying that we have to be very careful of China and Pakistan working together in this. And they have got the, you know, because particularly they work together because Trump is so easy to take credit. Trump does not understand strategy from a deeper perspective, the kind of pressure that he would be putting on a Marco Rubio to get a result for him would not allow for a deep conversation between any of the parties directly involved because he wants a win diplomatically. And the danger of this situation is that we can mistake a pause for something more than that. This is just a pause. It's very much an ongoing situation because question is, are we really, Abhishek, in control of the sequence of events? We know we are a peaceful country. We want peace. But others have intentions in our region, Abhishek. So we have to be much more watchful. The danger in this situation, I feel, as a nation, from my perspective as a journalist, is we cannot let down our guard. Neither the media can.
Right.
Neither the media can. We can't come to quick feeling today that let's get on with life. The moment we lower our guard, that's when the trouble begins, you know, because they would want a situation where even society is not alert to the
I think we'll have to make sure that we don't come under international pressure of
we
any
can't
kind.
come under international pressure.
And General
He's been
Sudhakar, in
traveling.
fact, is traveling.
He's traveling.
He's traveling. General Sudhakar, you were mentioning...
That's one of the reasons we've done this podcast today.
Yeah.
Because when we were talking to you on television, we said we'll talk to you for our digital platform, because Abhishek said you've been traveling a lot last couple of weeks across the world. So maybe he can tell us a sense of how the world is looking at this present situation.
Yeah, General Sudhakar, what's your sense? You have been traveling at the same time that we had this situation in India, between India and Pakistan.
Yeah.
How is the world seeing this? You would have been speaking
Especially
to those...
the strategic community,
Yeah.
because he said he was speaking in various think tanks, presumably in the Western Europe or America. So I'd be very keen to know.
Let me tackle your question in few roundels, something at the global level, something regional, and something at the local level. At the global level, this is my take, Arnab, kindly take it the way you wish. I personally feel that whatever America is doing, it is doing to achieve MAGA, make America great again, because America, as in today, you see, America is intensely involved to
By the way,
restore-
America really needs MAGA if there's such power cut happening there so often.
No, power is there. It's unfortunately the LED which was
no problem, please.
that is not anyway. So MAGA is the central point of focus, as I understand, as a student of geopolitics. Plus, I have been interacting with the people, and stoppage of the war or the ceasefire of Russia-Ukraine war and the Hamas and the Israel is an aim plus. आप खुद ही देखिए, he said कि within 24 hours has any conflict till date come to a Caesar or stop in 24 hours?
No.
It's now 4 months
No way.
now. And between you and me, let me put forward my views as a soldier. You mark my words, it will not come to an end till next 1 year. It will not come to an end till next 4 years. If it happens, well, all of us must celebrate. Yes, here is a man who actually fought against the sway of the world to bring this mindless conflict to an end. I'll be very proud and very happy if Donald Trump can achieve. Will it stop in Middle East? My answer is no, never. Will they be able to achieve a regime change in Iran? I don't think so. The octopus doctrine, based on which they have been actually hammering all the tentacles of the octopus, it may give a temporary kind of a moral ascendancy. But the fact of the matter remains that will the superpower and the satellite post of superpower, that is Israel, will they be able to bring back the peace and harmony and ensure the two nation theory objective, which the United Nations has actually approved in many occasions? Palestine does not exist on the map of the Middle East as far as Israel is concerned. So my take in the whole issue, 4 years will come and go like this before Donald Trump realizes here is a conflict between India and Pakistan. Perhaps with his assertion and power and authority, he feels that he will be able to bring an end to this particular ceasefire with only one intention. The intention is that there is a book written, Arnav, you read a lot, I remember. There is a book written by Daniel Marquet. Name of the book is No Exit from Pakistan.
Okay.
He has carried out extensive research, and he said no matter how tormenting the relationship between Pakistan and America may be, America cannot afford to leave Pakistan at any moment because of many reasons. He's given the example of nuclear assets, then large missile network, largest armed forces, and it is the only country in the world which has got direct access and best of understanding with the political and the military leadership of China. Their aim is not India or anything. They want to contain, counter, and contest China effectively so that the Thucydide trap, which advocates that any established power will not allow any
in
power to come.
the think tanks where you've gone, are we back to a situation where people are talking about India and Pakistan? Because the global references always have been economic, India and China. The global power rivalry has been India and China, and we've been moving in that direction. That's been the intention of our government. Has that changed? What's the sense you get?
The sense I'm getting is that lately, with Donald Trump having come back to 2.0, there is a greater realization that America has to focus on the economics. So far, they have been spending money like a spendthrift, and they have a debt, if I respect my memory, around 36 trillion US dollar economy as a debt. It's around 123% of the GDP. They have to do beg, borrow, borrow to bring it down to as low as possible in the quickest time frame. If they don't do it, the nation is going to be a broke. This is the first one. Second one, so vis-a-vis America, if you look at China, China is the only country in the world it has been able to fight its battle, win the wars without fighting a battle. How is it doing? It is doing by applying the very principles of geoeconomics. Now, what is the principle of geoeconomics? Way back in 70s, if you look at what America and the Western Europe had, they had a dominance of 70% in economics. Okay. Today, that dominance is reduced drastically. China has, out of 192 or 93 countries, there are more than 120 countries who are doing trade with China. There are significant number with which China has got trade surplus. Also, if you look at 1995 to 2015 and 25, let me very briefly share with you. In 1995, the G7 countries had a GDP percentage as far as the PPP, purchasing power parity. It was around 43 point something, 44%, let's say, okay, in the world. And BRICS by then had not come into existence. It came into existence after 2000, 2005, 2008 or so. So let's take the 5 countries, okay, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The GDP at that point in time, in PPP terms, was around 16%. Again, if I respect my memory, roughly around that. Now, 2010, 2015, the GDP of the G7 countries has come down from 43 point something or 44%. It is down to close to 36%. And the GDP of this BRICS nation, 5 nations, has gone up from 16 to 26%. Now come to 2025. 2025, the G7 countries' GDP percentage has come down. What was there in 1995, 43 point something, it has come down to many places you find 29, 30%. At places you find 36, 37%. But some think tanks which I am connected, they have come to a conclusion that the GDP is less than 30%. So G7 countries are coming down and down, declining.
So the larger point.
Okay, so it is the geoeconomics which is being taken advantage of and being exploited by China with the help of BRI, with the help of your Silk Route and all those kinds of concepts. Now new terminologies are being used, Geo Development Index, Geo something security initiative under different brand. Different. I was in Africa a couple of years back. It's that China has chosen the future of 21st century very wisely. How has it done it? China knows that the threat in 20th century is no longer the same threat in 21st century. Threat in 20th century was bipolar. Okay. Threat in 21st century, it may be a declining superpower, unipolarity is there, or polycentric world has come already into some kind of existence. But the bigger threat which is happening is it is not Putin going to invade Europe with tanks. Okay. What is the biggest threat in Europe? I'm just back from Europe. The biggest threat in Europe is the mass boat people who are coming into Europe. The demographic profile is undergoing so rapid changes.
So in the given situation, I believe, and I'll do another podcast with you on China and its threat, the broad point which General is making tonight to us, General Sudhakar, is that China is not an army that fights a war.
Yeah.
Is the old Sun Tzu
Finds
philosophy,
proxies.
fight through proxies, and it is attempting to do so. And you see a clear pattern here.
Yeah.
Hamas, Houthi, Iran, support, October 7th attack, COVID-19, the disruption in the world. When it is to the advantage of China, China goes for it. And therefore, I believe that Pakistan is a China proxy. We must stop looking at this ISI and Shehbaz Sharif and think that they are determining their own future. These are not their statements. That's why when the Pakistani Prime Minister responded without asking the Chinese, this is on the night when, on the evening at 5:30 p.m. India time when Donald Trump made the announcement, he was seriously pulled up. So through this podcast, we've got a sense of the present picture. We're also getting a sense of how to look at it in a broader lens. And I think the big story is we really have to keep a watch on what China's interests and strategic interests are vis-a-vis India and Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, this is therefore in fast and very evolving situation. I'll try to bring you more such conversations. General Sudhakar, your perspective is very, very good, very, very good. People will appreciate the depth you're bringing to this conversation. And we talk again soon, sir. Thank you very much. Have a good trip. Have a good trip. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Arnab. Thank you, Abhishek.